What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about the Madden patch that should be coming the week of Thanksgiving. Before we jump into that, though, I'm going to ask you guys, as I always do, to go ahead and like the video as we jump into it, because this is some really interesting things that are going to be happening right now with the new Madden patch. Now, as we talk about it, I'm going to go through this solo challenge right now because this solo challenge for the Madden Club Championship, it gives you guys a free token. All right, now, if you guys aren't using your series trophies or tokens or whatever it's called, I like to call them tokens, they're series trophies. You can use it in any of the series 2 or 3 sets right now. So for those of you guys that are trying to get that John Madden collectible that adds the +1 speed to your entire team, you might want to go ahead and get that done. But we're going to be talking about some of the things that are supposed to be happening and why it may not be what you think. Because initially what everybody thinks when Madden patches the game is complete destruction. You know what I'm saying? You ever see that that GIF where it's like Elmo and the fire's behind his head? Go ahead and like the video, unlike it, like it again if you know what GIF I'm talking about. Like, it usually happens when things are going crazy and somebody's posting something about something weird on the internet. But this is what's going to happen, right? This is what I've been hearing about the patch. Pretty much 335 odd is going to be obsolete, is what they're saying. Okay? That's pretty, like, EA people are getting tired of every stream that they go to, people are running 335 odd. So what they're going to do is they're going to make it simpler to block that linebacker. Now, I told you guys, if you guys do your homework, right? Initially, when people were running 335 odd on me, just like anything else that happens new with Madden, it was tormenting my flesh, right? So what I did was I figured out a way to make sure I could block it. Pretty much you block your tight end, you block your running back. Usually it's going to pick it up. Sometimes you can ID the guy. It's a lot of different ways that you can block it, right? But let's not even talk about that. The fact of the matter is EA wants to make the game easy for, you know, for like casuals to pick it up and be good at it or whatever, or you buy one ebook and everything is all good. This is the situation, though. When they patch that, there are going to be things that are going to make the game, I don't know, I don't really know how to say it. It's going to make the game a little bit more wild, okay? Because what's going to happen is in order for them to automatically make that happen, they're going to have to open up other gaps unless they make it completely unrealistic to where the O-line is just straight monstrous. You understand what I'm saying? That's the only way that they can make it happen. And I don't see them doing that because what happened with, I don't know if you guys remember, in Madden 16 when they patched the A-gap and B-gap problem, what happened was they made it worse and they opened up the A-gap even more because they put all the emphasis on making the linemen only try to attack those guys that were coming through those gaps, and in turn made them a little bit too smart, and it caused a lot of issues. All right, so with that being said, one of the major things that are going to probably happen is if I were them, right, this is what I would do. I would put emphasis on IDing the mic. All right, let me explain to you why. Because typically when a quarterback IDs the mic, if they're right, that person will be blocked and everything will be good. If they're wrong, you obviously know what's happening. It's going to be a sack. So with that being the case, what you need to understand is this. All you're going to have to do is learn thoroughly how to make sure IDing the mic is something that you are familiar with. And once they release the patch notes, I'm going to make sure that my viewers understand exactly what ID the mic is right now. You know, pretty much when you're on offense, you press the L button, you know what I'm saying? You do stuff like that, and then, you know, you can ID them. You slide them around, and you figure out what's going on with it. You put it on the person that you think is coming in. If they do turn out to make it that way, that's what will make the game better. I think that that is probably something that is major that they should focus on. But also remember this. This is why I don't think you guys really get it, right? Listen to what I just said before that. If you ID the wrong person, you should be sacked. You see what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be, oh, yeah, I ID this guy, but it was somebody else coming. But, you know, the AI is so smart, it blocks everybody. There should be a consequence for you making the wrong decision, is what my point is. So, ultimately, that's one of the major things that they want to attack. For some of you guys that are wondering about the fact that aggressive catching has been kind of OP, things like that, the possession catch has been broken, things along those lines, I haven't really heard much about that, okay? I haven't heard much about the spin move. I haven't heard much about the way that truck just happened, even though this is arcade mode. Is this arcade mode? I don't know. Oh, it's competitive. Well, whatever. So, like, but that Ricky Williams has high truck, so he's supposed to do that. But anyway, those type of things that go on within the actual gameplay feel, I don't think that they're going to bother that too much. That's just my gut feeling. And the reason that it's my gut feeling is simply because, why would you? You see what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I rage uncontrollably when somebody spin moves me and I'm strafing and waiting for the spin move, but overall, it doesn't happen that often. So it's just like anything else. You can't have everything 100% correct, right? The biggest issue that goes on with the spin move is that when you play somebody that's a spin move champion and they double spin move you and your guy's just acting like an idiot, it's very, very frustrating. All right, that's another thing that I'm going to put emphasis on if that comes to it. Okay, if it comes to the fact that they're doing exactly what we're talking about right now, I'm going to make sure that you guys know exactly how to take care of that situation, because that's ultimately what is going to make the game a little bit more enjoyable. Now, regardless if you're listening to everybody saying, yeah, bro, Madden is dead. Madden is Michael Myers, bro. If you guys have never watched Halloween, you need to go take a look at it so you can understand what I'm saying. This game right here, bro, it can't die because people are still going to play it because they have the NFL license. Now, if that changes and for some reason, you know, they don't have it, then you could probably say, you know what, it's dead, whatever. But as long as people can only get the NFL players right here, people want to see the real players. Nobody want to see a guy's name like Gobblegorf and, you know, Dumbledore. You don't want to see weird names and stuff like that. That's why most of those other things fail. It's simply because of that reason. You know what I'm saying? So just ultimately speaking, I want to make sure everybody understands that the way that you're going to be able to get all these things done, you know, you're going to have to make sure that, first of all, number one, you understand based on the patch notes, what EA is saying is usually not 100% what's actually happening. Like, for instance, right, if they say they patch 335, I don't think they're going to say it by name, even though in the past they've actually written down, like in the patch notes, specific stuff. You know, like, you know, maybe the scum kick. They might write that they patched the scum kick. These are the things that I want you to understand, though. Nothing is 100%, and you still are going to have to go into the lab. You're going to have to figure things out. You know, if you guys are like subscribed to people that, you know, you buy ebooks or whatever, you're going to have to go, I guess, get updated ebook information and stuff like that. No matter what you do, it's still not going to be foolproof. So ultimately, what you're going to have to do is figure out a way to enjoy the game regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like with me, I love when I see 335 odd because I know how to block it. So all you got to do is just make sure you make the right read. That's pretty much it. In addition to that, you can just come out in like heavy run sets and just run the ball, run die at every play. Now, what happens with that is, right, the reason that that might cause an issue for some of you guys is that if you allow somebody to run 335 odd and they start pinching the line and run committing and you still keep running the ball like that, it still won't work. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to run the ball successfully if you're playing a guy that's a 335 odd champion. You're not going to still be able to run the ball. You're going to have to, you know, put in some drags, things like that. Depending on how many people they're sending, you're going to have to make, you know, a little bit more of an adjustment for that. So that's primarily, you know, the major issue that everybody's been talking about with the current patch that's going to be coming out. But that's what I've been thinking in my mind is the way that they can just attack it, because if they leave everything exactly the same and make sure that somebody that's ID'd is actually ID'd, I think that fixes a lot of it, because number one, you teach people that they have to understand the skill of IDing the mic. They got to come to the line. They got to press L1. Like, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now, right? You got to come to the line. You got to press L1, because I have true clock on, because obviously, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get through these solos really quickly. But you see how it comes up and it says X right there for ID the mic? On the Xbox One, that's going to probably be A, right? You have to hold that button and you move it around to the person you want to ID. Then you press it again. So I ID the middle linebacker. If they make it so that guy, you see, look, let's see if anybody reacts to him. You see how nobody's really reacting to him and he's still running free? He's the only guy that literally ran free, and I ID'd him. So it's broken. Because even though it's a run play, if I ID him, my lineman should attack him. If somebody else comes free and smashes me in the backfield, that's my problem. That's how real football works. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I never played O-line. I was a D lineman, but, you know, in practice, you see it. You see the quarterback ID the mic. All right, the blitzing linebacker. You know what I'm saying? If I stood up, if I'm on the line and then I stood up and I'm rushing off the edge, you know, you would hear the, you know, Mike, you would hear them say whatever it is, and the O-line would come after me, or I would get chipped, or something would happen. That's not the case. And that's why I make fun of it a lot, where I'm like, yeah, when you ID the mic, the guy comes in faster. It's simply because it actually happens, but it's funny to me that it happens. Because that was something that was supposed to help out. I don't know if you guys remember when Dollar was like really, really big, and dudes were just coming out of DB Fire just being idiots, and then they, you know, they were like, yo, we got to stop that. And then the ID the mic was primarily because of that reason. People wanted to know, like, yo, how can we stop this? So EA was like, yo, we got you. And to ID the mic off the edge, it's actually pretty good. And you got somebody, you know, coming off the edge, bro, it's really good, bro. It's 1 in a million. Like, bro, it's really, really good. But what about a looping blitz? Like, linemen are not that stupid that they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna let stunts and looping blitzes just beat them every play. And that's what the problem is. Because if you go to any stream that you see a competitive player playing, that's, for the most part, what they're running. So, competitive players run things that are OP, which is primarily the reasoning behind why Madden has become a little bit watered down to most people that have played it. Because back in the day, like, I competed in Madden, what was the year that Brett Favre was in the cover? I don't know what year it was, but I still have my pass. I competed that year and did pretty well, right? And every game that I played, you know, even though YouTube was relatively new, it was a different scheme. It was like, you know, I played guys that blitzed a lot. I played guys that only played coverage. But it was a different look of the game every time. Now it's no longer like that. And that's what EA is trying to make sure that, you know, it probably doesn't stay the way that it is. But as long as you have YouTube putting out these blitzes, you know, you got guys that put out blitzes every day. And look, you got to make money. Look, you guys can complain about that or whatever, or a guy putting out videos about a certain glitch, whatever. That's, people got to make money however they can. I'm not knocking anybody for doing whatever they have to do, you know what I'm saying, in regards to putting videos out. What we have to do, though, is we have to make sure that EA is doing what they say they're doing and making sure that we have the proper counters to it. That's where I think everybody gets mixed up. And it's like, it's something lost in translation. Because if you make ID the mic work, 335 out is a joke. Because now you got to blitz more people. Because that looping linebacker, I just call him a line blacker. That looping linebacker is going to get picked up every play. So off the edge, you can easily, you know, adjust your linebacker, press an L1, make them max protect. You can do so many different things to help the rest of your O-line do what they're supposed to do. You see what I'm saying? You see the way Franco Harris just took on that block? That's because I aggressive blocked, and he knew that that was a guy that was like, you know, the free open guy. Because if you look at the way that he's blocking, he's the lead blocker. He's just going and seeing who's ever in his way. But that's just one of the other ways that I can make sure that he blocks somebody that's right in front of him. I would max protect on a run play. You see what I'm saying? But regardless of that, if you can do what the game set out for you to do, like actually block people and do things of that nature, it won't really matter. It won't really matter what these guys are doing. And they're gonna have to get a little bit more creative. They're gonna have to start sending 7. They're going to have to do a lot of different things, because if your O-line is sick in MUT and stuff like, you know, like really, really good O-line, and you got secure pass protector, all that stuff, they're going to pick that blitz up every time. You know, sometimes you might get lucky, and then remember, after that, they might do something to where they adjust the way that the attributes work. Like if you have a guy with, you know, that has high block shedding, he might literally just, you know, if a guy comes in with a different type of block, he might come in easier. But the game, because of the way the game is designed, they've made it too easy for people to run the same thing and get the same result. And that's ultimately why a lot of people are very, very upset. But like I said, I will always tell you guys when there's a real issue and when there's just something that we as, you know, a community can figure out how to fix ourselves. So that's what I'm banking on. I'm banking on more emphasis on just ID the mic. Because if I'm the guy in the office, I'm not trying to make it easy for everybody to play. You know, I don't know if you guys remember. Like, tell me if you guys remember. Write Resident Evil in the chat. If you remember that there was a part of Resident Evil where you had to like do things with like specific birds and a lion and stuff like that, and we had to sit there and figure it out, or we had to go to the store and get the GameStop copy to see what the cheat was. Like, it was harder to do it. You see what I'm saying? But we had to figure it out. This is what I'm saying. If you have to teach people how to ID the mic, you have to make that information readily available. You have to be able, as a corporation, to make sure that they know, look, yeah, that's happening to you, but you can do this. The problem right now is, even if you tell somebody, if I tell you guys ID the mic, you press L1, you move it over with the button, and you ID that guy, and then you notice that none of your linemen, okay, that guy went and attacked him that time, but you notice that they're not doing what it's supposed to do, that takes away from the game. That makes it so it's like, all right, I was supposed to do that, but that didn't happen. But again, remember, in all of these cases, there's still always a counter. So if you ID the wrong person, guess what happens? You deserve to be sacked. And it's as simple as that. If EA does that, if EA just puts emphasis on that, it's a win-win for everybody. Because you can't, what can you argue about? You can't, oh bro, I ID'd him, he got blocked, but the other guy came in. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, realistically, the quarterback, if he IDs that blitzing guy, it's his job, like, right? The left tackle's job is to protect the blind side, right? So if a guy comes off the right and you don't step up in the pocket, that's your fault. But you have to assign the proper protection. And I think that that will help make the game next level. I think it will help make it like really, really next level. Like it'll be something that we've never seen before. Like ultimately just like really, 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 really glitchy. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And I know a lot of you guys as well are probably looking forward to a big change and to see that 335 odd just dies, you know, the nickel, Big G with the block sheds, stuff like that. Those things I have to wait to see, but I don't think that nickel G can be patched ultimately unless you really make the O-line OP. Because if guys have high block shedding, they should get off the side. You know what I'm saying? They should get off of it. And I wouldn't really bother that, especially because if you run play action, it kills it. But you still have to make sure that you understand the ratings are going to still have to matter regardless. So all in all, you guys got to make that decision of how you want to go forward with it. But I'm going to help you as soon as that patch is released, making sure I'm keeping you guys up to date with everything that is going on and anything that is to come as far as Madden is concerned. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. Let me know what you think about the patch coming soon and what you expect. And I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.